right, everybody, welcome to the stream. Of course, we have just had the jobless claims, it looks like, out. And let's just quickly get straight into it. Let's refresh this core retail sales number. Have we seen it come out now? All right, here we go. I know it's already out and I'm missing it. Look at this. Look at this Forex Factory, guys. It's not giving us the right results instantly. That's why I went to the actual source yesterday. On Tuesday. Anyway, welcome to the stream, everybody. I hope you're having a great session. Yes, about 30 seconds late there, unfortunately, but there's plenty to go through. Any real reaction to this news, which we still don't have here, somebody else will have to give it to me, we'll be able to actually say, I doubt this is going to move the market that much. It might have an initial shock. Here we go. Here are the numbers. Okay, that's actually quite different. 1.8%. Wow. All right, that's a huge difference compared to the expectations. Let's continue to refresh this. Wowzers, 0.7 instead of a negative 0.7. Holy moly. Okay, very good. I didn't expect that one. So, core retail sales was pretty good. I must admit, actually, that Amazon looks pretty hot from a perspective of a big bullish candle with a follow through on it. That's not too bad at all based on yesterday's trade. But let's go have a look at the markets. Let's have a look at the US 500 to start off with. So, yes, that is a fairly strong number coming out there. If we are going to go bullish, we probably don't want to be preempting this bullish move because we do need it to obviously go through certain levels. And we do know also that there is a ton of options expiring on the quadruple witching event. Okay, so basically, that is a big factor. Where are all the options? We've talked about it for several days. They won't want to put it too much higher than certain zones. Here are the zones right now. 450 has a megalodonic, if you know what that is, a megalodon on those giant sharks. It has a megalodonic amount of calls sitting here on the right-hand side. They are about to expire in only, one trading session and a bit, or two trading sessions, basically. Then we've got it again for October. So let's go back over to the futures market. Take a look at this S&P 500. Initial reaction positive. I can see why. Where are our key levels for the real bulls to get back in? We're currently stuck in the range. So we have the resistance, the resistance, the resistance. We've obviously had our support. We'll go through the QQQ. I think it's a great example of where day trading can become very exceptional throughout the session. Did anyone take that long in the 1 hour yesterday on the QQQ? Did anyone get that? It was pretty damn good. Mr. Murray does not like Forex Factory here. Yeah, it's very delayed, very delayed. Let's quickly think about what could happen here. We get the movement through. We close above the 44.90. Let's say we get through like a 4,500 and then we pull back to this zone. Who likes this zone if this kind of price action occurs? Do you guys like this zone? I think it's pretty good because we have support, resistance, resistance at that point. And if we retest back down, what are we doing? We're basically saying we have closed above. We are bullish in this case, and we're looking for the further movement through there to, of course, the all-time peaks. That's the type of thing that I think about as a trader, as a swing trader. That's a great looking swing kind of position, and you'd have that really good bullish intention. We're not there yet. It may seem like it's a difference of, oh, well, Tom, we're at 44.78. Surely you can say it's looking better. It's that difference of 10 to 20 points that makes a huge difference when it comes to participation, when it comes to what Wall Street wants to really do, and the reality of what ends up happening. Eduardo Lopez says, why not use the SPY to analyze it? The main reason I'm doing it is just so you guys can see the initial price action here from the market, Eduardo. So we can have a look at the SPY. Let's check it out. Here's the SPY. We can go down to the 1 hour. It's the exact same principles. The 450, obviously, we know there's a ton of options expiring right there. Let's put the horizontal down. So just underneath the 450, we've got that 448. You can see the resistance. One resistance, gap up, sell off, gap up, sell off. Nasty Wall Street playing games with retail. Push it a little bit lower. No doubt a lot of people tried to short that for whatever reason. I don't know why you'd short that down there, considering we had a 50 exponential underneath, but I think we made a big case for that one. And then we get back up to this level. And if we close above, pull back to this zone, And I feel like that would be bullish in this case. But let's talk about the QQQ, because I want to talk about yesterday's price action, specifically this nasty trade that happened down here. So basically, if we go in and we have a think about the rejections here, the market never actually closed a really significant time frame underneath this zone. If you use the futures, you'll notice there's bullish hammers at this point, and then we see that follow through and it goes back up to the resistance. It's a fake out hit. So that's definitely a fake out. A lot of people would have been shorting again. You didn't get that closure confirmation. That's why we call confirmation is key for the community, for all the traders out there. And it's the same strategy. It's the same concept. You get a close above, pull back to this 378.50. And if we do that, then we can move forward back, I feel, to the 383. There's some serious levels that are going to occur here. John S says gold and silver shorts printing money. Yes. So gold fell through a cliff, obviously got underneath a zone. I must admit, got me here. Like, I'll show you. This is why you practice scaling, guys. So I didn't mind, and I would do it every time. Sometimes you've got to show these things. This is a rejection wick, a rejection wick, a rejection wick, and then you get a closure above. Now, we know it happened due to the CPI data. It closed above. It's marginal, so it's not a very strong position here. So you've got to basically say, okay, well, if I'm interested in getting in, what might you do? You might add in a smaller portion of your normal trade. In this case, a third would make sense. Now, if it continued to do bullish things, such as get past 1810, remember the goal was 1830 here, then you would scale into it, and then you would look for a pullback back to the 200, etc., and move forward. It's just a good learning curve. You know, sometimes you've got to think about, would you take this trade 10 out of 10 times? I would scale it every time. Now, for people that have been shorting underneath that 1782, I don't blame you either. And I think it's coming straight into the 1760 right now. Looks like gold's just on a collision course with the 1760. And this is exactly the zones that we've been discussing here on the channel for a while. You breach past this area, what's happening? You're breaking through all of the buyer demand. Every time it's gotten here, there's been buyer wicks. So buyer wicks have been incredibly good. And that's exactly where the buyers have just said, no, I like the price. I like the price. I like the price. It then gets underneath and it just slingshots down very quickly into that 1760 zone. We've got Robson, Rob77 becoming a new member. Thank you so much for becoming a member, Robinson. Robinson. Yes, Robinson Rob. Thank you very much for joining. Let's give a big, warm welcome to Robinson. Appreciate it. Give him some claps. Then we've got the upper decks coming in with $2. Good morning from TX, Tom, assume Texas. Tal thoughts. We'll have a look at those very soon, upper decks. No worries. Let's read what you guys are talking about here. Eduardo obviously had the question about the SPY. That's why we do it that way. And hopefully a few of you guys see why some of these key zones are so important. The SPX and the Nasdaq, both very close to both ways. You know, we get underneath here. I really feel like this is the zone. You close under here and you're starting to talk 15,200 for the Nasdaq. You know, you get underneath 15,200. You get above this zone, bam, bam, back to the 15.7. Very critical level. And we've been consistent with this level as a community here. We've had that level all week. I mean, the box has been there. You guys have been following me. Have we had the box there, guys? I believe we have, but you can let us know. Let the chat know. What do you think? The SPY candles on the daily confused me. Doji, then close below, then back up. So let's have a look at the SPY again. So no Doji on that one. SPX, there it is. I don't know why the SPY didn't have the Doji. Yes, this has got the closure below. Yeah, slight closure below, but very marginal trade into the 50. The problem is you shouldn't really short there, because what's your best case scenario? Your best case scenario, well, obviously it's much lower, but think about it. As I mentioned, the best case really here for me was just to go blur, and then there's going to be a buy here. There's got to be, because every other time it's come down to the 50, we've seen that huge pressure that's been put on the the stock market around that area. So even with a long leg doji close, let's say we think, okay, it's going back down to this level. Well, that's cool. It would have been better for the buy side, because the buy side, you've got much more green, much, much, much higher likelihood of a movement to a good level of resistance. Here, the best we can initially hope for is that, and it just sucks. I do admit it should have gone a little bit lower. I was surprised it didn't hit the 50 and then bounce through. But Wall Street does that stuff. I think the resistance selling's probably been the best there. All right, the upper decks, we'll do your one right now. So PAL will do this particular. Oh yeah, nice. Just filled the gap, didn't it? Great breakout. Marginal scale there could have happened. Might have got in yesterday. Now, what do you do here since it's filled the gap? So pull back to 330. Wouldn't be too bad. Previous little level of support, the wick high resistance. You got the moving averages coming up, acting as dynamic. Probably wait for this to drop off a little bit now, then look for the pullback and look for that $4 target on this one. $4 would probably be the level. Previous resistance very strong around there. 380 to 4. I would take a box. I would set an alert at 380 and I'd watch it like a hawk if that's the type of stock you like. But that is bullish and it has done a good closure. And now I'm looking for it to just take a little breather. Just, slow down there, come back down a little bit, and then we can turn it around. Shizzy Wiznut says it's like this channel is my good luck charm. Yeah, quite a few people that have been trading the indices. I actually think the indices have been an easier trade than the stocks recently. What do you guys think? What's chat think? What do you feel like the indices have been easy? I know it looks like there's craziness going on, but I actually still think it's been a lot better than some of the stocks. The stocks have been randomly up and then it just comes straight back down. Whole bunch of, all over the place there. Thoughts on Win? We'll see, Billy H, if we can do that one a little bit while. And we'll certainly give that a shot. It's Rob. Good morning, y'all. There we go. Thank you very much, man. Brandon Smythe, $4.99. Good morning, Tom. Good morning, Brandon. Great to have you here. And thank you for giving some claps there for the new member. We've also got Joseph De Salsa with the picture of Steve Irwin. Says, hey, Tom, I wanted to say thank you. Your classes and stream helped me make a great trade on Amazon yesterday. Very cool. Also, just wanted to know if Aussies call soccer football or soccer. Thanks again. So we call it football. Nah, we call it soccer. we have different football here in Australia. So like America, you guys have it what we call gridiron or NFL, and you guys call it football. We call it obviously those other things. But most people in Australia, it's actually weird because we have football, but some people call football rugby. So depending on the state that you're in, it can be all sorts of things. But we have our own thing called AFL, Aussie Rules Football. I can't say I love that sport. I actually am a big fan of NBA. I like NBA a lot. I like UFC, boxing, those kind of, well, boxing's a disgrace. But yeah, I did like it a lot. I used to watch boxing quite a lot. But then the refs, they just... If you're a fan of boxing, the refs will literally make you lose your mind with their dodgy calls. So corrupt, guys. So bad. Dodgy. All right, Amazon. Let's have a look at the Amazon trade. Well, I did say I liked it, and I'm glad you picked that one up, actually. That was a solid trade yesterday. We've been talking about that 3,400 for quite a lot of time, and boy, oh boy, you scalpeled it like a boss. Previous resistance, support, boom. You got that mass pile in. So good. And then you get that 4-hour close and it followed through. I know it's down here in the pre-market, but I kind of feel like Amazon's the best of the FANG stocks right now. I really do. Take a long leg doji on the weekly if it closed like this. I mean, it's hard to believe that you're getting the stock at the same price as you were getting it pretty much what in August of last year. I mean, think of all the things that have happened. Think of where the market's at, and you're getting a fang stock. I said this about Google once. Remember, Google was lagging everything, and it was my favorite fang stock. I was like, you've got to get on the Google. The alphabet was so good. Facebook also was lagging for a while there and then caught up. So is Amazon the most undervalued stock in the current lineup? What do you guys think? It's certainly been boring as hell for quite some time, but that was a great pickup and congratulations, sir. Very good. Tom Gordon, $5. Morning, big guy. Thoughts on the millions of views or Zim? All right, we'll go the millions of views in just a second here. Energy fuel cells. Wow, big breakout. Nice. Great double bottom too. That's the weekly. I missed that double bottom. Very nice. I love that double bottom. Didn't even come back. Just went woohoo all the way to the sun. Look, it looks pretty good. This is a solid breakout here. The person in me that kind of just goes, you know what? I don't want to be like this high on the price. I really want it to come back down and test from the top down. I probably would be a patient beaver based on the speed at which this thing has gone up already and the fact that it's cracked the high. It has had some epic runs on it before, but I would probably be a little bit patient here and wait for it to come back down. I really like that zone. It's incredibly vertical. It's a great closure out. It's significant, no doubt. Let's have a look at the weekly. Okay, so the weekly hasn't closed. So at this point, if it fully reversed in the next 2 days, that wouldn't be ideal, would it? So maybe like a little pullback, and then next week it comes down, tests this high, maybe like a 740 would be pretty sweet. And then yeah, take it long. It's a good breakout. It's pretty damn long time it's been waiting for it, and you've got some pretty solid take profits as well. $10 and maybe even like an 1180 through the highs. I'd probably get less sneaky and go for 1120. So I'd go through that wick there and pull kind of the average across that point. That would be my ideal. But yes, solid breakout. Many ways to play this one. Could be a good scale opportunity. If you're feeling FOMO, you might want to scale a portion in. Obviously, you do whatever the hell you'll feel like. I can't tell you what to do, but you could use scaling concepts to certainly help you out there. Yes. Tom, will the retail traders keep the trend moving up? Look, I mean, I saw an article the other day. It was like, I don't know who it was, JP Morgan or someone said, I probably wasn't JP, but basically they were like, oh, the only reason the market's up is retail traders. And I said, oh yeah. The thing about that is, do I really believe that it's all retail traders? Well, there's a huge amount of us in the market. This dot-com bubble to a degree was created by retail traders just going ham. I mean, I've managed people's money over the years and done all sorts of things. And I will say this, the people that have traded the dot-com bubble, they've got it grained into their heads. Like, it was bad. Like, some people lost serious money, and it was super cowboy. Anyone in the chat, they would know. Shout out to people who are trading the dot-com bubble. Even I wasn't. Of course, I was so young back then that wasn't going to happen. But I have traded the GFC. I saw the dot-com bubble in terms of just history and what other people told me about it. And I'll say this, there was a lot of retail traders in then. There's actually more now. We've never been at a bigger time where the retailers have been so aggressive in the market. So yes, I think it's helping to sustain a longer run than we usually would have without a little bit of a correction. But again, I am not bearish on the market for the next couple of years in terms of big correction bearishes. I'm like, 8-10% correction, sure. Maybe even a 15, but none of this 30, 40, 50. I just can't see it. Not just due to the Fed, but due to just the general sentiment being so strong. I maintain that the only real key word is the word that we cannot say on YouTube. We cannot put it on YouTube because it is not kosher with the YouTubes. Let's move over to Bitcoin. We've talked about these markets. We'll obviously revisit the US 500, Nasdaq, and Dow. Check out that Dow, though, back to flat. Wow. Massive moves, or not massive, but decent moves there in the futures market. ahead of the open. Let's take a look at Bitcoin now. I want to talk about the daily here because I've mentioned in today's video that I was feeling quite good about it. I was feeling pretty damn optimistic. And if anyone actually picked up around that 47.5, they'd be, $500 up and feeling pretty good. So yeah, the market looks okay here on Bitcoin. What's the chat? You guys positive or bearish on Bitcoin right now? Let me know. Jam with USD says you can't see a black swan event in the next 2 to 3 years. I think that when you push the system so far like they've done, you kind of turn some ridiculous. You basically created a series where you can't stop anything that you've started. So they basically just keep going with it. They keep printing out, well, not printing out of control, but providing stimulus out of control. They'll pull back on it. We've seen it work for about a decade and a bit now in the US. We obviously look to Japan. We know how far they pushed the system. We all stopped talking about Europe, and obviously we've got that Evergrande or Evergrande situation in China. I believe they'll bail that, by the way, partially to avoid systemic failure. But look, there are serious problems, and eventually someone will have to pay the piper. I don't think the piper is going to be paid in the next couple of years. It's my personal preference. You could totally disagree with me. We could all have arguments about it all day. That's just the way I'm going to go with optimism here for a little bit, but I'll eventually turn super pessimistic for sure. Right now, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that just yet. Big Dipper says positive BTC, ETH, and ADA. Yes, I like all of those. And of course, I actually like only coins. I've got a new rule. Okay. My new rule is I only hold coins that have to do with a base network. So what I mean by that is I've always loved ETH. Bitcoin's its own little weird scarcity play, okay? So I like scarcity and I like real networks that provide basically an area or a hub for other coins to be created on. I'm not interested anymore. I don't care about, it's the fastest transaction coin and it's going to kill Visa and it lets us transfer money at a fraction of a gas cost. No, not for me. Maybe for you, but not for me. I think we're transitioning. And what I like about coins is crazy amounts of news coming out. And if you have a very good hub, let's say people make new projects on your coin or on your network, then effectively what that does is it keeps the news rolling and it keeps it incredibly relevant. So that's something that I've always had a decision. I've always believed that. They're my hodl. That's the hodl. The hodl is there. I like the Bitcoin. I like those types of coins. That's why I like DOT as well. And yeah, it's interesting. I think the market's transitioning into that. I've seen Avalanche come through here. I've seen Polkadot suddenly become cool again. I mean, Polkadot was about the most uncool coin there a few weeks ago. So yeah, it's happening. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. We have a very clear resistance here at 48.5. You can see the rejection wick. You can see the rejection wick, long leg doji at the 2 hour here, and 20 moving average currently holding up. I'm looking for a closure above here to push that 50K number. And I'd be pretty happy with the 50K after what really looks like Wyckoff accumulation. I mean, if you've missed this one, this was so sneaky because it had no business ever going that low. Litecoin didn't, even though Litecoin was the head of the fake news scandal. Bitcoin gets crushed underneath this level, and I can only think of it like this. I really can. That's the way I'm looking at that Bitcoin chart right now. And this was really maximum pain theory, as you guys call it. Yeah. The whole point of a black swan event is that you can't predict it. Absolutely. I'm not going to say I can predict the next crash. I mean, I can't. It's not possible. You can't even position. I don't even know how you would position exactly against what they've done to the monetary system. I've thought about that along, and you basically lose in almost every investment. I mean, the reality is all investments will go down, but there are going to be some that have a lot of value in them still. So obviously there's the basic need for shelter. You're going to have money in houses. Maybe some crypto coins just go and they actually become worth quite, maybe possibly some good money because, of course, main money system is bad. But look, again, I don't really want to talk about that stuff because it's all pie in the sky. It's not where we are right now. It's not the reality of the current situation that we're seeing just yet. Crypto Average Joe says you should hold Luna. Luna. And then Carlos Stegas says, for some reason, I want to catch the falling knife on silver at the moment. That is the basic human instinct that Wall Street preys upon. Catching the falling knife, letting it drop through your hand, and unfortunately, you going to the emergency room. And the emergency room is your account being leveraged backwards. And then unfortunately, you hiding under the table going, oh, yeah, I don't want to go. And then you got red eyes the next day at work and someone's like, you all right? And you're like, oh, yeah, don't talk to me. You don't want that. You do not want that. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Tom, can you have a look at Alibaba double bottom? Yes. Yeah, we can get into a few stocks. So we are seeing interesting little pull up here in the US 500 after that news. US 100 doesn't seem to care. It's kind of like, well, you know, it's not that good for us. And the Dow here has rejected and actually is looking not too bad here early. So we might come back over to that chart. Let's now do, what was the one I was going to do? Where'd I highlight it? Alibaba. Oh, the barber. Cheap on book value, bad on sentiment. And as we know, when you have bad sentiment, it gets brutal. Ooh, where are we going? 155. Oh, this chart makes me sad because I know so many retail traders continue to get on it. I'll admit, over here, little tasty with stop loss, little tasty, double bottom, break the support. Then the government came in and ruined everything. But that's trading. That's what happens sometimes. After that, no. Haven't touched it since. And I've certainly not been recommending this one in terms of technical analysis. It's only been short and very scary. So when we take a look, let's go out to a weekly. We have to get a bit of an idea of where we are in comparison. So we're right around that 17 area. It's really low, guys. And I know a lot of you might say, oh, it's a double bottom, Tom. You're kind of guessing. So what I mean by that is, yes, this is a low. Yes, this is support. A double bottom really is only confirmed when it breaks past that intervening peak here, or the neckline, or the area that you, whatever you want to call it, resistance. So once it closes above there, then of course, yes, you're looking at an absolute recovery. I just don't know if it's worth your risk still, even at these lows. I mean, if you want to hodl it for 10 years, I mean, maybe it'll work out for you. You want to hodl it for a few years, it could have some great returns. Eventually, it will most likely turn, but it also could have even more risks, like it could be government taken over, or who knows? I don't know. But from a TA perspective, it's just a good level of support, and we don't have the double bottom just yet. No. That's a huge downtrend, says AB. John S says 3 months ago I bought way out of the puts, out of the money puts on AG silver miners, 10 cents per option. I bought 100 options. Well, now they are $1. Ooh, congratulations, John. What's your plan? What's your plan on the silver? Scott Morgan says Chewy has attacked him, basically. Yes, unfortunately it has. ETH chart, please. Sure, we can take a look at the ETH chart. Why not? Oh, we've got a member joining us. 1 second, guys. I can invite him in. This is the good thing about this software. All right, let's see if we can get Tyrone in here. He's ready to talk. He's ready to talk smack to the community. We'll see what happens. All right, let's have a look here at the Ethereum. We'll go over this right now. So let's take a look here at the 4 hour. I tell you what, it's the same thing as Bitcoin, and it makes sense. Of course, the two big coins lead the way. The rest come along for the party. That's usually the way it goes. I like it. I like the closure above. Ethereum slightly weaker than the big BTC. BTC has been slightly stronger. 3,800 is the next resistance that we're looking at here. Why? Because it's a good round number. Previous little bit of resistance, kind of like a support there. So yeah, I like it. Series of higher highs, 2050 cross 4 hour. Very similar kind of play through, pretty much exactly the same as the other Wyckoff. And remember, if it sits here for a while and then breaks up, just get even more confident it's on a rally, because at that point, it's literally a carbon copy of Wyckoff accumulation. A carbon copy. It's amazingly close. Hey, Dave, message Ty and get him in. Mr. Murray, anytime Ty comes on the stream, it means we're having a bearish day. Did you miss Tal? Yes, you did. Just scroll back. I'm pretty sure I did it. Let me just make sure. I'll let you in a sec, Ty. Lurian. Yeah, I did that. Fully done. Just scroll back through. It'll be there. Absolutely. Okay, let me get him in here, guys. There we are. Hey, Ty. Welcome.
Hey, hello, everyone. How you going?
Turn you down slightly. 1 second.
Am I a bit loud?
A little bit loud. Yeah, just turn it down just a smidgen, and then you should be absolutely very clean. Very clean. I like it.
Very clean. Awesome. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the live stream.
Yeah.
What are we up to? What are we looking at?
Wow, we're just finishing off a bit of crypto here. So we've done some Ethereum, we've done some Bitcoin. I like both of these charts. We'll just quickly do ADA. Now, ADA, we liked it a lot yesterday. And you know, wow, it actually hit exactly where we wanted it to. So that was nice. That was a good base. And congratulations if you took that rally. This chart, yeah, I don't know anymore. Like I'm looking at this thinking, yeah, okay. looks very stuck in a range. We've got a heavy level of buying pressure that's coming through, don't we, Ty, around this 230 area. I like the buying pressure that's coming in, but this is not a chart I want to get involved in right now.
It looks like it's starting to get squashed in between the 20 and the 50 too. Like when it starts to consolidate like that, look, you're going to get a break pretty hard in one direction. But I think I'd probably want to wait for it, though. I wouldn't want to preempt that one. No. Yeah, it's starting to get that squeeze. I do like it when the 20 and the 50 is squeezing in between a roll reversal zone. It's kind of cool. But you need the evidence. You wouldn't want to be guessing either way on that, because it can go either way and sharply too. And it probably will. It'll probably bust out of that zone pretty quickly. The MAs, we need to coin a term for the MA squeeze, Thomas.
Yeah, we need to make up a term for it for sure.
We do. Yeah.
We'll have to do some brainstorming. Maybe the community can help us with some names for the squeeze between the 20 and the 50.
Yeah, it is a thing. It's definitely a thing.
It's a thing, guys. Like when you see this thing, it actually can compact pretty tight as well. We've seen it on some stocks if you've been watching the live stream for quite a long period. So yeah, it really does happen. Let's have a quick look here at Tesla. Now, you guys probably getting a little bit hyped here about the Tesla price action. I mean, the market obviously is in turmoil ahead of the quadruple witching, but I mean, I'll always look at this chart, Ty, and I gotta say, like, I don't care about the fundamentals of it. I don't care about whatever you think about it. Every time I look at this chart, I just look at this trend line and I say, hell yeah. And I look at these recent price action moves, specifically like the little breakout here, the day trades that have been involved, even this bullish momentum and the bullish close here. And then I look at that weekly, and we've discussed this weekly before. Imagine if the weekly closes above that wick. What do you think of that?
Oh, that's going to be great. You know, like sometimes, I know we talk about this a lot, in the office, Tom, and you got to throw the fundamentals out the window sometimes and say, you know what, you got to trade what you see. If you get caught up in the numbers and the reports and all of the jazz, like sometimes you can actually miss what's right in front of you, and we have been guilty of that in the past, and we're like far out, like trade what you see, sometimes. And I think this is one of those ones where price action is king. Like we know that anyway, but Tesla seems to be one of those ones where sometimes fundamentals can just go completely out the window, and if you trade what you see, it's going to be pretty good. I mean, it looks good, doesn't it? I mean, you look at that and think to yourself, like, do you even care what the fundamentals are saying if you get a close above that level?
Probably not. I mean, you got to remember as well, retail, guys in the room here, they get wild on it. And I know for a fact that there's some big options traders in retail. They've made some good money off Tesla over the years, and they've gotten into it. And I'll be the first to admit that I think one thing that I learned about Tesla, and it's not even the Tesla, not about the stock or anything like that. It's about the power of so many puts being put against a company, yet the price action is just undeniably bullish. And it's amazing. It was like they were putting in put walls where the market would never let it come down anyway, Ty, because they were never wanting to pay out all those puts. There were puts on this thing for years, like out of control amounts of puts, and no one made any money on those. Let's just say that.
Yeah, no, 100%. 100%. I actually just saw someone ask about gold. Have you actually done gold yet tonight, Thomas?
Yeah, we did gold before. Yeah. So
can we sneak back to it for a very quick thing? Because I did, well, as you know, I did that gold presentation today, and I actually came up with something that was really, really interesting. On a daily, what I did, right? I marked up on a weekly gold. I actually marked up the last 6 Decembers. So the first week in December for the last 6 years, and I did vertical lines on them. And without fail, every single time it's risen for at least a month from the start of December onwards for the last 6 years. Now, I didn't even go back any further than that because realistically, that evidence is enough. But if you mark up the start of December on every corresponding year, you will see a big rise in gold and a pretty significant one that you'd say, you know what, that is actually worth trading. So I'm not convinced that gold's going to do anything right now. In fact, I could probably see it being weak for the next little bit, but that was actually quite compelling evidence that, gold does have a knack of actually really rising in December. So it's certainly something to keep an eye on, because although I was kind of aware, this was the first time I actually put vertical lines on it and actually had proven the theory. And you can go all the way back to 2016 and you'll see the same thing. Every single time there's at least a month or two of very solid bullish movement on gold. So something to be aware of, because I know a lot of very good judges are calling 1900 or higher on gold. And I tend to agree that, probably by the end of the year, I reckon you'll probably see it, but maybe not just now. I think it's kind of caught between a bit of a rut at the moment. It's in a bit of a zone between that sort of 1700, 1600, 1800 zone. But I think when it does eventually break out, if it is going to break out, there's a really good chance that it might actually happen around the start of December. So certainly keep an eye on that, because history tells us that you get at least 2 very solid months of bullish action at the start of December.
I like that. I mean, whenever we can bring across big data or some kind of seasonality to things, we call it actionable data here on the channel. Well, Ty, you and I use that quite a lot to make big decisions on credit and stuff like that over time. So I mean, it's awesome. And, we're always learning, guys, always bringing stuff together. We've got Jay Nibble coming in as a new member. We'll give him a clap. Thank you very much, Jay Nibble. Appreciate your support. And we have Michael DH, $4.99. CTRM, please. Caster Maritime. Been a little while since we looked at this one. Is this a lightning bolt I've been waiting for all summer? Michael DH he's been waiting for a while.
I love it.
And we've got some requests. We've got some things for the MA. We've got the MA Sanger. We've got the 2050 Club Sandwich.
The MA Sanger.
The MA Sanger is not bad because it's pretty Australian. And then I don't mind the 2050 Club Sandwich either. Not bad. Good stuff, guys. I'm sure there's some other ones there. We'll let the mods pick through them. So is this the lightning bolt I've been waiting for all of my life is what he didn't say that, but it certainly is a great level of accumulation here. And this is a big amount of volume that's coming in 3 days. Oh, wow. Okay. So you're looking at something that is really sick and you're hoping this thing can turn around.
The only thing I've got to say about that one, Michael, is that, it could be the lightning bolt of your dreams, but I would probably want to see it close above that 20 moving average. So even though technically if it closes above that previous peak, it's only just on there, right? So what you probably want to be seeing is a close above on that weekly. If you get a close above that 20 moving average on a weekly, then that's a very sexy lightning bolt. That's a lightning bolt that I'd be looking for all summer too. But I would be waiting a little bit longer. I wouldn't be taking this on the first, break up higher, because this is a very serious downtrend that's been coming down. So you want to be, waiting on that weekly, wait for that 20 close. Like you see how it is a lightning bolt, but see how it's right. It's got problems in its face straight away. I would be waiting for that. And that would mean on a weekly, that would be above the 20 then. And then that becomes an awfully sexy trade at that point.
I kind of feel like there's 2 ways to do this. There's that way, which is the safer way, and then you also could scale into the trade waiting for that 20 tie. So you could wait for it to get above here, obviously maybe retest, take a little scale, and then the bigger portion maybe once you see that further confirmation. I think it's that 267 will be the 20 actually around that point. So we wish you the best, but it is basing. It's good news. Not bad news, and I think
it's not bad news, but I think maybe just a little bit more patience. Maybe just keep your raincoat on just for a little bit longer, and wait for someone to kick in properly. I reckon just wait a little bit longer on that one. Thank you for all the kind words, guys. Thanks for making me feel so welcome again. It feels like I haven't been here in ages. So thank you. Yeah, very, very happy to be here. Thank you, Jessica. I love Ty with a love heart.
ACK, oh my God, I have been bag holding CTRM forever. Yeah, I can imagine this one could be burning you for quite a while. And that's why I think when we look at this, we want to be able to make sure that we hold, that we don't buy these dips. We wait for the, it's like Barber. Do we want to buy the Barber right now, or do we want to wait the Barber until it actually starts to accumulate? Because that means you don't sit there holding the bag forever. Okay. Kevin N says, tap the thumbs up, guys. Ty is here. Thank you very much, Kevin. And then we've got Brian, who's messaged a few times, says, Tom and Ty, can you all please take a look at JMIA? We'll have a look at this one, and then we've got to do some quick look through a whole bunch of stocks. We've got to do some rapid fire in a second. JMIA also looks fairly sick, unfortunately. We'll do this one really quickly. So we have the trough. Obviously, we have like a level of resistance that's been formed. It's even rejected that 50 here. I think for the first level of recovery, 22 is the key zone. Get a closure above that, and then you're starting to talk about the road to recovery. But it will be long and it will be hard on this one, I'd say. But yes, above that, and you can see all these wicks at the same point, but then you've got 26 to contend with. 26 would be nasty.
We're getting a lot of calls for the ASX, Thomas. Have we done the ASX 200 yet?
Oh, we have not done the ASX.
We've had, I've had, I can see 4 people wanting the ASX. So, man, you guys, I tell you what, we had a 15-minute rant on the ASX 200 in the Q&A about an hour ago. I tell you what, and for the people that are here who were in the Q&A, you know exactly what I'm going to say. So we will have a look at it, but I'll certainly keep it a lot shorter because otherwise I'll get in trouble from Thomas.
Yeah, we do. We are on time constraints. All right. Yep. What would you like? What would
we are on time constraints? But look, what we really pointed out in that one is that we are in a dead set downtrend now. We've got the lightning bolt on the way down on the ASX. I think we've got some really good levels that could find. Like you can see that we've already got that indecision candle. It had a crack at being cheeky today and tried to push up higher, but the 20 moving average certainly pulled it in. Looking down, look, there's nothing here telling us that it looks like it wants to go up. 7,200 first target. Failing that, if that doesn't hold, I reckon, 69.50. We're about to get a 20 or 50 moving average cross for the first time since the market was at 5,950. So you're talking about 1,400 points ago, 1,500 points ago. So yeah, seriously, a very, very important cross. And if it comes to fruition, which I believe it will, 7,200 to 7,000 is very, very likely. And that would be a very healthy pullback. And I really like that trade short. It's got a lot of work to do to go long for mine. So yeah, hopefully that's as short as I can keep it without going into a rant.
No,
Isn't that right, Dave?
we're on time constraints. Look, rejection, closure below, then we'll be looking at. So we've got a $2 donation coming in from a Cash Chopra. Says, good morning, guys. Any Hood, please? We'll have a look at Hood. That's, of course, Robin Hood. I shake and shiver because, I'm not a fan of the IPO in America unless you get in early into the IPO, because these ones they're not like the good old Australian IPO stuff that tends to do well. It's more of the, it goes up for a second and then comes right back down. Look, it is basing. You've got resistance around that 42 in terms of closure levels. And I think that while this isn't a good trend line down, there is a 20 moving average here. So you close above the 20, that could create some rally. And we know that retail likes jumping into it and creating hype. But yeah, it's basing. Yeah.
I think that the word of warning on that one, I reckon, is that people will see that double bottom on the 4 hour and say, all right, it's about to go from here. These are the double bottoms that Thomas and I are very, very cautious of as a rule, right? The ones that are forming a base at, like realistically, that could easily fall to the 36.50 without even, you can wake up tomorrow morning, it'll be there. So be really careful about double bottoms at a point where the market is so weak. I would wait for the price action on that one. I wouldn't be taking the crack of that neckline on that double bottom. I'd be waiting for a break above that trend line, above the 20 moving average, retest, bang, off we go. That's the lightning bolt we want to see on that one. But don't preempt it. That's the one you want to see price do it, because that could easily fall away from this level and no one will be surprised. So be really careful on those patterns.
Exactly. All right, let's do some rapid fire here. I'll just shoot through all of these. So we've got 248 resistance becomes support. It is the key, but you'll know that's a 2-day long leg doji here. So squares too early to call in terms of technical analysis levels. We've got Apple opening up right around now. It looks like a big bullish kind of hammer from yesterday, and it is a big bullish hammer. But if we go down to the 1 hour, we're right around that support becomes resistance area. So just watch it here today. And if it keeps floating through, obviously, once it gets past that 150.80, I feel like, it's done enough for the bullish side to keep trying to do that rally. And if it does sell off here, well, if it gets underneath the hammer, then it's really going to get smashed. Amazon looked a lot healthier. 4 hour looked really pretty damn good. We talked about that level at 3,400. That was really nice. We've got Google still rallying strong. I mean, every time it hits this stupid 20, look at it go. It's still rallying strong. Again, closure underneath. That'll really be the Nasdaq falling through if it does happen. Because when you get these big fang stocks moving, the Nasdaq's already relatively weak. If these stocks start to fall through their 20s, they all go to the 50s, and that'll be bad. End phase, still underneath. There's not much we can do there. We're just looking for further info. It looks quite weak. Microsoft, obviously, buybacks causing it to have these potential new highs. That is what it is. RK, you really shouldn't probably TA RK because it's a bunch of funds, but there is a resistance at 125 and a support at around 114. We've got Beam doing its best to try to get back up. It's right on support. We've got CRISPR, right on support. That's another biotech. SPLK, we've talked about this one together, Ty. The big inverse head and shoulders, really slow thing. It's right there, isn't it? Previous resistance becomes support.
The party's going to start if it's going to start soon, isn't it, on that one?
Yeah, exactly. CRM, that was another one that came down to the party. They're almost the same, SPLK and CRM. All that gaps come through, right back down to the resistance, becomes support. Salesforce really looking not bad. I mean, compelling, but slow. slow. TDOC, nothing much, still on support. You could be sitting here for months holding that thing. Twilio, not bad. I mean, I like it at 367. I've got an alert there. What are your thoughts about that level, Ty? I mean, it's off, man, that'd be huge.
It'd be huge if it does it. I think it's one of those ones. It's definitely wait and see. I'd rather it go long than short, though. That's the trade I really want. I don't really want it to go short from here.
No, shorts becomes confusing. I mean,
it's a lot of mess and horror below there. So I think that would be a nice trade. Definitely want that bounce up. Could be a good one.
Pin still watching this, guys. Etsy still watching the consolidation above the resistance. That's okay. DKNG, it's on the 20, so it's kind of on that support. Intel. I like this quite a lot. What do you think about this one? Everyone hates on Intel, but I'm kind of liking the TA here. We've got the rejection. We've got the inverse head and shoulders.
It's an inverse head and shoulders with a gap. Yeah, it's pretty sexy. You don't really see that very often, actually. It's a very interesting technical setup, isn't it? I reckon a break above the current level that it just did, and off we go. Off we go to the races. Bang, straight into the 58.20. And that'll nearly play it's overshooting the pattern even. It's overshooting the pattern range, but it can do it.
Yeah. I've been a lover of the Intel the last couple of days, and I guess I'm not going to fall off my Intel bandwagon just yet. Airbnb continues to roll up, and then of course we've got a lot of requests here for PLTR, and I can see why you guys can get hyped because it's coming in to the 27.30 land. Pre-market 27.13. Ty, you don't know that much about PLTR, but PLTR, it's like folklore in the retail trade world. The guys love it, love it. They buy this damn thing and they hodl it like crazy. And I don't know how it even began. I guess Kathy Wood began it. And now they've been waiting for the 27.30 for what seems like, well, actually it has been basically a year. So, well, at least 7 months. So what do you think about the 27.30? I think it's a critical.
Critical. Yeah.
Yep.
And it's actually building its way. I don't mind that when they do this, when they pull off the top and then find consolidation on a 20 moving average like it has. It's basically getting ready for the reload. So if it's going to break it, I think now's the time, isn't it? Like, it's getting momentum from a reasonable. What I don't like seeing is when the 20 moving average is so close to the resistance zone that the pullback isn't significant enough to build up momentum. But you can see here, you've got a big momentum build up right there. Off a roll reversal zone, and now it's having a real attack at that level. And I think that might be the one. And it's a really important level. I mean, it's got a lot of upside if it gets past there.
Yeah, I mean, next stop would be probably 30, and then after that, my goodness, and it ramps because everyone talks about it on YouTube.
And it'll get to 30 in a hurry too if it breaks there. You'd think like it could get to 30 really quick because it's getting momentum. It's a momentum run that could probably push to 30 without even a pullback. So yeah, it's one of those ones you've got to watch, but you've got to let it unfold. I wouldn't be taking the initial break. I'd probably just wait a little bit.
Yeah. Like once it breaks through, it's one of those ones though that you've got to practice the scale because it's pretty explosive. That's the one problem with it. PayPal remains on the support. Resistance becomes support. Then we've got ZM still sick. Unfortunately, it didn't close above our 302, but it's on support. I wouldn't buy. You need literal recovery here of price action before you can really do much there. And then we've got the Zillow again, could be a double bottom in the making. We've got that downward trend line, but we have to be patient and wait for that 100. There's a lot of other stocks tied, but I'll show us a look at AMD.
Jan with USD said that Kathy Wood said the Bitcoin's on a 500. Is that true, or are you just making that up?
She always says that. Yeah, she loves it.
Is that true?
Yeah. Well, she says that, yeah.
That's outrageous.
Well, the problem is it's all about market cap. So I think that's the big concern and why people I don't really understand the 500K call because of the market cap. It's just so big at that point. Like, you're talking about Bitcoin, like it's going to be so far away. If that happened in like 2 years, wow, the world has gone crazy. I don't see it happening anytime soon, but it's just the market cap will be massive.
I'm not so sure.
No.
Maybe we should say, why don't we make a call?
You have to make wild calls, and then with wild calls, you can make wild videos, and that gets wild hits.
I'm saying that Ethereum's going to 150,000.
That's literally impossible. That's even worse. You may.
Well, why not?
Well, that's even worse. That call. That's like so insane. It's bigger than Bitcoin by a lot.
It's no more ridiculous than what you're saying, if you ask me.
Oh,
but anyway, it's all right.
Yeah, that's true. All right. So AMD still looking relatively good.
Financial advice. This is education only and a little bit of
little bit of
don't go buying calls.
No. Well, thank God, no. All right, razor wire laser beams, $5. Cheers, guys. Could you guys talk about scaling out of things once it hit all-time highs? Got a bag of Sol, which is a crypto, and between $20 and $40. Congratulations for getting it at a good price. And I think I want to hodl 1/3. Hey, I wish I did that on my BTC. Then I'd be a bazillionaire. Well, no, definitely a millionaire. So multi millions at that point. It'd probably be worth like 10 million today, Ty, I reckon.
More than that. I thought we worked out.
Well, more than that, yeah. But I would have sold. Yeah, but if I did the third, then that's what that guy that I he had like 2,000 coins back then, and he's in the. I don't know where he is. I think he's in the Guatemalas. So here's the ramp that's happened here. So I think the problem is when you're talking about all-time highs, you've got to kind of just set key levels. And I think with crypto, is a lot of it's around psychology and ramp and stuff like that. So with this one, I guess for me, I'll be completely frank. I would have probably gone with like 100 as a scale out here. And then I would have gone with 200 as a scale out. And then I would have held the rest. The reason is it's such a huge ramp up. And if you go into the smaller timeframes, like the 1 hour, usually in a stock, what will happen is, we're going to need probably like 2 hour at least, is the market will come down and we'll go like this. It'll go down, it'll come back up, and it will create our lightning bolt down. And that's where we can scale off our position. We might say, okay, you know what? We let it ride. We had a great time. We saw our moving average coming up. It closes below that 50. Let's say that's the one that's following. We just take it off, don't we, Ty? Just take a third.
Yeah.
dance down the street, and people will say, well, you should have taken it at 200. Well, you just say, well, look, I was following the trend.
Yeah,
so
exactly
that would be
right.
one way you can scale off.
Yeah. And on those ones, probably that's a really good point on saying that, if you do have two accounts, if you've got like a long-term account, even separate them again. So have two accounts and say, you know what, I believe this thing's going to, whatever, $500, whatever, put a small amount in there or whatever a third might be, and just leave it and don't even look at it, because that's how you're really going to make it. Otherwise, you're going to constantly be looking for an exit plan and then have another account where you're actually trading it actively. Yeah. And that way you're never really worried about those levels, because look, all-time highs on crypto don't really mean that much, do they? Because at the end of the day, we don't really know where their cap is and where their lid is. So they could just keep pushing on. Who's to say this couldn't go to $1,000? So I think especially in the crypto space, I think it's a really wise decision to have two accounts open, where one of them you just set and forget on ones that you believe in, and then actively trade another one, so you don't confuse the two and you don't miss out on potential, really big moves on the upside. Otherwise, you'll miss them. If you keep looking for the exit plan, you're going to miss the big move. And that's unfortunately the nature of the beast with crypto.
Sometimes, though, if you just have like life-changing money, Ty, I mean, some people just want to take a third off and then take another third.
Oh, if it's life-changing money, totally different story. I'm talking from a trading perspective. If you're investing and trading and wanting to build a career out of it, you want to be doing it in a sensible way and having that as a plan. If it's life-changing money, oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Glenn Bear wants me to add UVXY. All right, man, I'll do that. UVXY. Obviously, being a member, you can request that. Why not? So we'll chuck that down there. Michael DH, I know we've got 3 minutes, guys. We've got to get into it. $4.99. Tattooed Chef, please. Going along on this. Tattooed, what is it? Tattooed Chef, TTCF. That's the one. Going along on this, wondering about your thoughts as a company and thoughts on a plant-based products as well. Good to see Ty back. Great to have him here. It's a special occasion, guys. Look, Tattooed Chef or any of these plant-based foods, my biggest issue is always going to be moat with them. It's all a marketing machine. So what I mean by that is, look, I would always taste the stuff. If I'm buying these companies and long holding them, I want to know what they're like. So I would go and sample the damn product. And if it's crap, don't buy it because you can't hold it in bad times. If you believe and you're like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever, then you go tell all your friends. Guess what? Other people are probably doing that. So if the product's solid, there is a chance for it. It's all about marketing. I really think it's like A2 milk, Ty. A2 milk is not it's like A2 protein milk. Like, it's not a special, yet they built a company which went parabolic in Australia purely just because
on marketing.
Based on marketing. Yep. That's right. Yep. So this is a marketing play more than anything else. You want great marketing team. If you lose your marketing people and you don't like their ads, I'm telling you, it doesn't go well for you. I don't really see a huge buy here just yet. I mean, maybe that 19 zone support. Unfortunately, there's just not much.
It's hard. It's a hard one. Yeah, I mean, there is support there. There is support at that level, but there's a lot of got a lot in front of it. Yeah, 3 converging moving averages right in your face to go along.
Yeah, you need lightning bolt action off this area.
Lightning bolt action, and the top of the lightning bolt's got to be above those moving averages. Then it's a different story.
Yeah. All right, let's get into that. We've got 1 minute here till the market opens. So basically, we've got lines everywhere. Let's quickly get it down to the 1 hour action so we can get rid of most of them. We know where our big resistance is, 44.90. That's going to be the big key zone for the bulls and the bears. Key first support around 44.60, and then the next support, I'm just going to go 44.30. Even though it's 44.40, the 50 exponential is right around there. Nasdaq, we've got the QQQ up here. We'll get the Nasdaq so you guys can see it. Similar box that we've had the previous days, 15,530. Closure above there could stem really big bullish things here for the market. It is weaker into the day, and the big key support for the Nasdaq before the 50 exponential, I believe, is around that 15,000. Was it 360? So yeah, some key zones coming in, and there we go, Ty. We have hit the bell. Ding, 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 guys. We've got there. Thank you very much for the donations. I do like the vegan kind of food stuff, though, guys. I have eaten a bit of it. The Beyond Burger is not bad. Have you had the Beyond Burger, Ty?
No.
Okay. You get
no. I don't deviate very far from the norm. I'm not going to lie.
You guys don't want to know if you give Ty a fruit, it's not going to happen.
No.
Wait, do you eat fruit? No. I don't think we do for it. Yeah. All right. So the market is coming down here early. You can see those tech stocks, really probably getting belted the most. Let's bring up the screener here. We'll go over to the full screen, do the percentage changes. And we've got DoorDash somehow up 5%. Interesting. JP Morgan up 1.11. Bit of the financials up here. And then everything else on the negative side, we've got Alibaba, ASML, Nvidia. That's good. I wouldn't mind Nvidia coming back down to earth. It needs to come back down a little bit here. And Zoom also finding weakness. So bit of red in the first start of the session. It's not moving the US 500 so much. So it's mostly in the tech sector. And I think, when we and look at the Tesla, it's like, no, I'm not going down just yet, guys. Hell no. And Square opens up basically flat. What is happening here? Enphase down 1, Barber down a lot. Obviously, Chinese stocks getting bashed.
It's going to be a bloody exciting 2 days, I reckon. Tonight's trading or today's trading and tomorrow's trading is going to be bloody exciting. I love quadruple witching hour. Love it.
We should buy witches' hats and put them on.
It's just exciting. we should wear it on the stream. It won't fit in the camera though. If you get those big pointy ones,
I'll just put it down a little bit. I'll just be like,
yeah. Anything that makes the market move, I reckon they're more exciting than non-farm payrolls these days.
Yeah, non-farm payrolls has been full in Japan. Oh yes, I'm not going to read it out yet, but I agree, guys. What is happening today? Bullish or bearish? Put it in the chat right now. Let's see what you guys think. Bullish or bearish for the session? Chuck it in right now. I want to know. The chat was so wrong yesterday, man. They were wrong, Ty. Everyone was bearish. I was kind of feeling the 50 exponential. And then if I'd sat around for 2 hours and had a look at that Nasdaq, I would have certainly reversed and gone bullish because that was a massive, massive reversal. Let's see what people are doing. Oh, bears are back. Look at this. Nasty bears. They want the salmon.
A quadruple witching hour doesn't mean down, down, down. That's not the exciting part. I can't remember who said that, but someone just said, how is down, down, down exciting? The quadruple witching hour just means volatility. It could go up just as quickly as it could go down. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to sell off.
Look. PLTR. It's a monumental occasion for PLTR holders. I'm telling you, they're like relentless every day. PLTR, PLTR, PLTR. For a while there, I wouldn't even have it. I didn't even put it in the chat. But yes, look at it go, guys. Wow. Look at that 2780. Let's get down the 5 minute here. They're going to ramp. They're going to try ramping it for sure. Look, obviously don't fall into the FOMO too much on these stocks, guys. If you're in PLTR, congrats. It looks like it's having a go at it. And I'm sure a lot of people will be discussing it over the next 24 hours if we get a closure above this zone. And this is a very significant area. So, closure above, pull back down to it's going to be support. It's an interesting thing. Big reversal there on the indices just then. We're going to test the 4490 on the S&P 500. And the Nasdaq has just started ramping pretty heavily as well, led by just everything turning around here a little bit. You can see all of the stocks now coming back up. Apple barely down, Amazon barely down. That still looks like a good chart. We'll bring up Amazon for a second. Yeah, I think that made sense for it to go for this. And currently we have 4490 going to be the test. So what are your closing thoughts here, Ty, in terms of these key levels on the indices? Do you like anything in particular?
I actually think that we're probably going to see a lot of sideways action for the last little bit. I think the market will make up its mind next week which direction it's going. It's either going to break the 50 good and proper, the S&P, and actually start tracking down, or it's going to consolidate and start pushing up again. I think it'll do something after tomorrow night. I don't think it's going to hover around here for too long. It's going to either break up higher or it's going to break lower. And if it breaks that 50, we know it's going to go down a reasonable amount. So that's going to give us some really good trading opportunities either way. I don't know. I'm not convinced the 50 is as strong as it was at the last touches. Like I mentioned it earlier today that we've been under the 20 moving average for nearly 5 days now, which is the first time in a very long time. So just be a little bit cautious on that one. But yeah, again, it's still got a bit of work to do, and I think there's good trading there. But we'll see the volatility tomorrow, and that is exciting. That's got exactly right. I think it's got 2 lightning bolts in it. Either way, boom, boom, boom. Happy days. Wow, look at this thing go. Yes.
Oh, it's going. They're pumping. Look at his tactical spray. He goes, your boy just got into PLTR on the open. And then Al Berilo probably says, Tom, I told you, man. I'm assuming he's talking about PLTR. I'm not sure. What did you tell me? Did you tell me something?
Is it PLTR?
Wait a second. He did send me it. Oh, yes, he did. He sent me a PLTR. Let me show you guys. Let me show you. This is truth. I remember now. Here we go. Look at this. See? Yeah. No lies. That's exactly what I got sent. So there's the proof. I just had to look through. There you go, man. Gave you a shout out there. All right.
He looks angry in that photo. He's not to be messed with, El Barolo. Look at him.
Yeah, he's
not to be messed with. If he says something, damn, we listen.
Yeah, we better miss it. Jam with USD says PLTR going to 30. Well, it's certainly the exciting one today. Let's see if actually someone mentioned a stock that does make sense. Roblox also having a small one. You know about Roblox, Ty?
I know about Roblox. I know
your
all
son
about it.
Spends money in Roblox, doesn't he?
Speaking of photos that we're not going to mess with, what about Jamie with the USD? Jesus, he's got a balaclava on. Whatever Jamie with the USD says, we do. Tell us what you want, mate, and it's up.
We'll do it tomorrow. Maybe we'll do a special. Jamie with the USD can come in. He could be the new Harry. Jamie's coming. Oh, this one. Oh, wow. Look at him. He's kicking ass, except he looks a little bit too gangster. All right, guys. Well, look, we wish you all the best today for the session. We had some interesting TA there that we went through. Obviously, we've given some key points that we're looking at from the indices level. I guess I'll maintain the same thing. I think the indices are still an easier trade than many positions out there. There's been a lot of chop in some stocks. There's been a lot of uncertainty. The indices might look like craziness, but really when you break them down and you look at those key supports becoming resistance areas and role reversal, I don't think it's mad. I don't think it's
mad. They're not scary. They're actually good. That's really good trading. I think they're very technical and I think they're giving some good opportunities. So nothing to be scared of there.
Yeah.
So I might be starting to get a little bit scared. PLTRs it's starting to get a little bit scary now. We're gonna go.
Yeah. Look, PLTR can ramp. I mean, it can do a 5. But you know what? It always starts strong, and then it has that tendency to do that really nasty thing, which is come back down. If you have a look, there was a time, I'll show you this just so you can see why PLTR holders are so sad sometimes and they get upset. There was a time, check out this. Over here, it gapped up like almost every single day and then just went down red. Every day it was a gap up red and then it would just go down and just punish them through the session. It's a brutal stock sometimes, but this is looking much more positive.
Good luck everyone who's in it. Thanks everyone for joining us tonight. Thank you for having me back, and I'll definitely start to jump in a little bit more because now I've got a little bit more to do in the evening, so I'm here. And I love coming and watching the stream. So thank you for having us. Have a good trading day. And hopefully tomorrow's witching, quadruple witching will treat everybody well. But get ready for the volatility and trade both sides. Both sides is the fun way.
All right. And remember, guys, subscribe if you enjoy the channel and smash that like button. It helps us out even after the stream. So remember to do it. It really is great. Thanks so much, everybody. Catch up. Oh, wait. Oh, sneaky. Von Louis, $4.49. What are your thoughts on getting into lithium mining production? My goodness. At the last bell, I'm telling you.
Boy.
Oh, gold's getting bashed. Okay. Bought into BCN. Okay. Lithium just over a year ago got 110% return on it. Yes. A lot of minerals have done well. So I assume are you talking about Australian BCN, or you're probably talking about this based on the fact it's pounds, LSE. BCN. Yeah. Okay. Oh, right at the resistance. Let's go to the weekly. Look, you can see that they have big runs on them, and we come from the country of miners. So, Australia, we have red dirt everywhere. And we have a lot of this as well. I think that you've got to recognize that they have a time and a place, don't they, Ty? All these miners. They go on 100%. Massive ramps and then they just get crushed for years, and it sucks. So you do want to have a bit of a plan around a lot of these. There's not many that just keep going up for consistently year on year. In fact, I don't even know if I've seen one.
Yeah, this is one of those zones where you've got to wait for it to break now and say, you know what, let it do its business, get the retest, and the retest will probably take it back. Yeah, it could definitely get to 100. They can do it really easily, but I think you've got to wait for the evidence now. I think the run on it has probably, off that 20 would have been a great trade. Now wait for the break. I think you need to see that close above there on a weekly. A weekly break is a very significant break, right? We know that. So if you wait for the weekly break, and if you do get the retest, it's going to be happy days. It's very rare that a weekly doesn't come back and test a level like that. So 90 up to $100, very, very possible. But just wait for the weekly to break. Make sure that the momentum is still there, and it could be a good trade. And I think the good thing about it is your stop loss is pretty tight here. If you get a break above there,
you're at 80, 100, crazy stuff. All right. Again, thank you so much. Smash the like button, guys. Subscribe if you enjoy the channel, and we'll see you tomorrow for the daily update. Bye for now.